Well, Dr. Olson, here we are together, and it's been a little while because usually we're speaking in some city at a conference or reviewing each other's research or writing. And who would have thought that we would have written this book together, helping couples?
Well, first of all, I'd like to really thank you and Leslie for all your work on the book. I think it's what's so good about it is that it's interesting, it's easy read, it's not a big scholarly book. It's enjoyable to kind of just sit down and read a few pages and think about it and how it applies to them as facilitators working with couples. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great resource and very well written by you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. All of us have such a deep passion for people who are helping couples in the trenches. And so every word was written with them in mind. We feel it. What's it like to be in that position where you're pulling for a couple and want every good thing?
Yeah, the title of this book was not particularly creative, but it's right on the nose. Helping couples, that's exactly what it's for.
Right.
And I remember asking you when we were writing the book, I said, tell me the story of how that came to be. And you said, well, there was this issue with this exhibitionist that I was treating on campus. And I said, hold the phone. That changes everything. Can you relay that story? What happened? An exhibitionist you were seeing in the counseling center, I believe, at the University of Minnesota, right?
Actually, the story goes back to when I was a doctoral student at Penn State.
Okay.
But basically, what we learned from the example, and the woman had a phobic reaction to snakes, and the husband had tendencies for exhibitionism, is that we ended up seeing them at the clinic and realized that they were a couple and decided to see them together jointly.
So let me interrupt you just for a quick second. Let me interrupt you to make sure everybody understands this. There was a patient that you had or a client that you had that was an exhibitionist. And for anybody that's wondering, wait, am I thinking of the right thing? This is like the traditional, open your trench coat and shock somebody without any clothes on. And then this other person was being treated in the same clinic that had a snake phobia, a completely irrational fear of snakes, right? You didn't know that the two were married.
We joked in the counseling session or the supervision session when we were going around the table talking about our clients. This one person said, well, I have this woman with snakes and I said, well, I have this exhibitionist. And somebody said, wouldn't it be funny if they were married?
And truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. And what came of it is that we ended up, longer story is in the book, but what really was amazing is we did not talk about snakes or exhibitionism. We helped them with relationship skills. And from that, the relationship changed. They grew closer together and ultimately rebuilt their relationship without any discussion of the symptoms.
Right.
So it really showed me the power of relationship therapy.
That's so incredible.
Yes, it is.
And what's even as incredible as the story to me is that when I asked you, hey, what kind of got this going? That story wasn't at the front of your mind. I had to really tease that out of you in our interview. It's such a compelling story. And the book is filled with gems like that. It's the story behind the story that I think so many of us are going to find interesting, because this book is not just relaying, here's something that you can do in practical terms with the couple that you're seeing this afternoon in a session, but here's this compelling kind of narrative behind it, and that's what I so enjoyed.
The
when we
peek
were
behind
working
the
on it.
curtain
Absolutely.
about how this brilliance all sort of came to be, and what a great level of confidence it gives us that the skills that we're working on and the healing and the relationship goes so many layers deeper than even what we see on the surface. And that story is just one illustration of the deep healing that gets accomplished when you help a couple.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for all that you have done to change the face of all the practical work that we do when it comes to helping couples.
Leslie, I just want to congratulate you on Simbas. I'm impressed with what you've developed, and thank you for facilitating this and for collaborating with Prepare and Enrich. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.